Hello, welcome once again to this online session in the subject of signals and systems. Currently we are discussing common signal operations, and in the last online session we discussed signal operations that basically affects the time representation, that is the independent variable of the signal. We mainly discussed three signal operations: time shifting, time scaling and time reversal. In today's session, we would try to study three more signal operations which affects the amplitude or the magnitude representation of a signal. These three operations are namely amplitude scaling, signal addition and signal multiplication. Let us start with the first, amplitude scaling. For any continuous time signal x of t or discrete time signal x of n, the signal of the form ax of t or ax of n is called an amplitude scaled version of the original signal, where capital A represents a constant. So, in amplitude scaling, what basically happens is the magnitude of the signal is multiplied by a constant value A. There is as such no restriction on the value of this constant A. It can be greater than 1, it can be less than 1. Right? In general, this factor A is called the scaling factor. Let us try to understand this better by taking an example. Let us take a signal x of t. What is the nature of the signal? The nature of the signal is that the magnitude of the signal is equal to 1 from -1 to 1. And for all other values of time, the value of x of t is 0. Now suppose that I take this capital A to be 2 and I try to plot 2 times xt. So what would primarily happen is that the magnitude of x of t would get multiplied with 2. So here if I say that the magnitude is 0, it gets multiplied with 2, so you would get the magnitude to be equal to 0. Between -1 and 1, the magnitude is 1 and now it is multiplied with 2, so 1 into 2 would become 2. So this would now have a magnitude of 2. Again, beyond time t equal to 1, the magnitude is 0. You multiply it with 2, so it remains 0. It remains 0. So this we would say that this is amplitude scaling, where my scaling factor is 2. I can take another example where I can take the scaling factor to be less than 1, say 0.5. In that case, as expected, the magnitude or the amplitude of the signal reduces. Now this 1 is getting multiplied by 0.5, so this becomes equal to 0.5. Mind well, when we say amplitude scaling, it is basically multiplying a signal with a constant. It is multiplying a signal with a constant. Right? We can have a similar example in discrete time signals also. Let us say that we have a discrete time signal x of n. What is the nature of the signal? The nature of the signal is that the signal is non-zero between -2 to 2. At -2 the value is 1, at -1 the value is 2, at 0 the value is 3, at 1 the value is 2, at 2 the value is 1, and for all other values of n, x of n is 0. Now suppose that I try to plot 2x of n. It means that I use a scaling factor of 2 with this. So what should happen? What should happen is that the magnitude of the signal should get multiplied with 2. It means that the 0 multiplied by 2 would remain 0, this 1 multiplied by 2 would become 2, 2 multiplied by 2 would become 4, 3 multiplied by 2 would become 6, and so on. So the resultant signal would appear something like this. At n equal to minus 2, initially the value was 1, now the value becomes equal to 2. Amplitude scaling is relatively simple to understand. This is something which is similar to amplification that we generally, the word that we generally use in electronics or electrical. Amplification primarily represents increase in the value, whereas scaling means both. Scaling covers both. It can be increase in the value as well as decrease in the value. So once again, when we say amplitude scaling, what we are trying to do is that we are multiplying the magnitude of the signal with a constant. If that constant is greater than 1, then the magnitude is increasing. If the constant is less than 1, then the magnitude is decreasing, or the magnitude will decrease. Fine. Having studied this amplitude scaling, let us move on to the next signal operation, which is signal addition. What do we mean by signal addition is that signal addition is basically point-to-point or instance-to-instance addition of magnitudes of two or more signals. It means that if I am trying to add x1 of t plus x2 of t, I would add them instance to instance. It means that whatever is the value of the signal x1 at time t equal to 0, it would be added to the value of the signal x2 at time t equal to 0. This is what we mean by point to point or instance to instance. At any given instance of time, whatever is the value of both signals, that gets added. Let us try to understand this by taking an example. We have taken two signals here, x1 and x2, and our interest is to add these two signals. Let us see what is the nature of the signal. The nature of the signal is that this signal is having magnitude equal to 1 between the duration minus 2 to 2. Whereas this signal is having the magnitude of 1 between minus 1 and 1. Now suppose that I try to add these two signals. Then addition is point to point. So, say for example, at t equal to minus 3, what is the value of x1? 0. At t equal to minus 3, what is the value of x2? 0. So, the resultant signal would have a 0 value. At time t equal to minus 2, what is the value? Say the value is 1. What is the value at t equal to minus 2? 0. So, 1 plus 0 would give you 1. Yes? Let me show you the result and you would appreciate this. So for time t less than minus 2, for time t less than minus 2, this is also 0, this is also 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Between minus 2 and minus 1, between minus 2 and minus 1, x2 is 0, but x1 is having magnitude of 1. So 1 plus 0 would give you 1. Now x2 is 1 between minus 1 and 1. And between minus 1 and 1, x1 is also 1. So this 1 plus 1 would give you 2. So between minus 1 and 1, you would get the magnitude of 2. Between 1 and 2, you would get the magnitude of 1. And beyond 2 again, you would get the magnitude to be equal to 0. This is what we mean by point to point or instance to instance addition. Take the value of x1 at any given point of time. Take the value of x2 at the same instance of time and add those two values. That is what signal addition primarily means. The same meaning is there for discrete time signals also. Let us try to take two signals x1n and x2n. What is the nature of x1n? The magnitude at n equal to minus 2 is 1, at n equal to minus 1 is 2, at n equal to 0 it is 3. Similarly, the magnitude is 2, 1 and 1. x1 spreads from minus 2 to 3. Whereas what is the nature of x2? The value of x2 is 1 at minus 2, 1 at minus 1, 0 at n equal to 0, magnitude of 1 at 1, at n equal to 2, again the magnitude is 1, and 3 and onwards it is 0. Now suppose that we try to add these two signals. So at n equal to minus 2, here the value is 1, at n equal to minus 2, here the value is 1, so 1 plus 1 should give you 2. Similarly, at n equal to minus 1, the magnitude is 2, at n equal to minus 1, the magnitude is 1, so 2 plus 1 would give you 3. Let me show you the result. So at n equal to minus 1, you get 1 plus 1 equal to 2, at n equal to minus 1, you get 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3. At n equal to 0, this is 3 whereas this is 0, so 3 plus 0 is 3. Again, at n equal to 1, this is 2 and this is 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, at n equal to 2, this is 1 and this is also 1, so 1 plus 1 would be 2. And at n equal to 3, this is 1 whereas this is 0, so 1 plus 0 would give you 1. So again, this makes the point clear that signal addition is basically addition of two signals, point to point or instance to instance. Similar to signal addition, let us try to see the next operation, which is signal multiplication. Similar to signal addition, signal multiplication is also multiplication of magnitudes of two or more signals, point to point or instance to instance. Yes, let us try to take an example to understand this better. We take the same signal x1 and x2 as we have taken for signal addition, and now we try to do multiplication. So understand that this signal x2t is 1 between minus 1 and 1, whereas this signal x1t is 1 between minus 2 and 2. Now when I am trying to multiply these two signals, it is very clear that for time t less than minus 2, the magnitude is 0 and 0, so the result would be 0. Between minus 1 and 1, the value of x of t is equal to 1, but here the value is 0. So x1t multiplied by x2t would have a 0 value. Where would this signal have a non-zero value? It would have a non-zero value when both x1 and x2 are non-zero, which happens only between the duration minus 1 and 1. So between duration minus 1 and 1 you would have the value, and what would be the value? The value would be multiplication of two signals. So 1 multiplied by 1 would give you 1. So the result would be this. Yes? Between minus 1 and 1 we get the value, and the value is equal to multiplication of 2. Here the magnitude of both the signal is equal to 1, so the resultant signal is also having the magnitude of 1. Similarly, if I take an example in discrete time domain, then in discrete time domain let us consider x1n and x2n. Now the resultant signal would be point to point multiplication of the two. So 1 multiplied by 1 would give you 1, 2 multiplied by 1 would give you 2, 3 multiplied by 0 would give you 0, again 2 multiplied by 1 would give you 2, again 1 multiplied by 1 would give you 1, and you would have 1 multiplied by 0 would give you 0. So signal multiplication is also relatively simple to understand, and it follows the same pattern of operation as what we do in signal addition. With this signal multiplication, we complete all different types of signal operations that we are supposed to study. I encourage you to go through your textbooks and try to solve various examples which are available on signal operations. We would also try to see few examples in the next online session. Till then, goodbye, take care. Thank you for joining this session.